This is my opportunity to just take some questions from the constituents of Florida District 6. Most of you submitted these via Facebook, so I'm going to take the time to answer some questions now. We'll post this video so that you can see the answers to the respective questions. Thank you for that question, Bill. I support the bill. This is done by Dr. Tom Price, who's not only a medical doctor from the Atlanta area, he's a third-generation physician in his family, and he's developed a healthcare reform plan that puts individuals, patients, and doctors first, and leaves the government and insurance companies in kind of second or third place. We got to put the individual first. And so his bill would completely override Obamacare. It would make healthcare affordable for every American, but it doesn't force anybody to buy any type of health insurance they don't want. It provides portability so that if you have a job and you move to a different job, or maybe you just lose your job, that policy is your personal policy. It shouldn't be tied to your employment or not. And it's budgeted in terms of how people have analyzed it, that it will save $2.4 trillion over the next 10 years compared to what we would spend under Obamacare. So that is a huge amount of savings for a system that would be more patient-centered, and there's an emphasis on reducing costs, so this is more affordable for everybody. I think that's a great way to go, so I'm certainly supportive of it. I hope we're able to offer that as a replacement to Obamacare in this Congress. The good thing about something like Dr. Price's bill is it would immediately provide them with more affordable options. And so what we're finding, what Obamacare does basically, is it forces people into exchanges. It artificially raises the price for 95% of the folks who are in those exchanges. And so by going in a different direction, you're going to give people the choice to opt in to other policies that'll be more affordable and more suited to their needs. So I think that would actually be a transition that could happen. You mentioned Medicaid. I think this is an interesting issue because we had a number of physicians come and testify in front of the Oversight Committee today, and they were talking about how Obamacare is affecting insurance costs. It's causing the cost to go up for people, but also access to care. Just because you give somebody a Medicaid card doesn't mean that person's going to be able to get access to care, because many physicians are deciding not to accept patients who are on Medicaid. So obviously, you can send out 30 million Medicaid cards to people, but those are only as good as what kind of care they end up getting that individual. I think what we're seeing is, because the government, on the one hand, is reducing reimbursements to physicians, they're basically saying it's not worth it for them to take some of these patients. We're also seeing it with the Obamacare exchanges, where insurance companies are clamping down. They're not reimbursing the physicians at the rate that they expect for their services. So you have different networks of doctors that are completely opting out of the Obamacare exchanges. So it really creates a difference between coverage on paper and actual access to quality care for the American people. And so I think H.R. 2300 will answer that, but certainly you're going to see a lot of people who may have the chance to gain coverage under Obamacare, but are not going to necessarily get access to physicians, and that's really important.